Hello guys, Delaney here and welcome to my new series How to OC, where I give you some tips on the creation of characters. Now in this series I want to start off with fandom OCs, which means that the topic of today will be creepypasta. So first of all, you have to decide with which point you will start. In creepypasta or any other fandom or even original stories, you have two options to start off with. The first option would be the design, and the second option would be the story and origin and overall personality of your character. Now in this video I will start off with the origin and story and personality just because it's easier for me. However, you can start off any way you want to. So the first point is that limits are barely there. So the first thing you should do is decide what you want to do. Your OC could be a monster, a human, a mythological creature, or something even more crazy like a character from a video game, a robot, and many more. Now, when I personally create a creepypasta OC, the ideas come to me really spontaneous, but I recommend you to start off the way you feel most comfortable with. Next point is that you really need to try to be original. I've heard many people say that things like torture, abuse, rape, bullying, and mental illnesses are overused. But I personally don't think so. What is overused is the same kind of torture, abuse, rape, bullying, or mental illness. You can use all of those things as long as you are original with it. And especially with torture, abuse, rape, bullying, and mental illness, you should also try to be realistic. And that makes me come to the next point, which is research. If you aren't really familiar with certain terms or things, you should always research these things. For example, if you want to write a creepypasta OC based on Japanese mythology, you should look into articles or Wikipedia for inspiration and information. With mental illnesses, you can also look into Wikipedia or other sites dedicated to these things. If you want to make a character based on serial killers, I highly recommend to research this topic a lot. Serial killers are really complex to write down and to understand. So try to look on different Wikipedia articles dedicated to serial killers that have been existed in the real world. You could also watch documentaries or even horror movies. But keep in mind that if you watch horror movies, you should watch movies that have realistic serial killers and don't romanticize these killings and other bad things in this movie. Some movies I would really recommend you are movies like Cannibal from Mariandora and Martyrs. Martyrs is good at portraying victims of torture in and after torture, as well as mental illness caused by the torture or abuse, and suicide related to the abuse and mental illness. But please only watch this movie if you are really sure that you can handle said things, because I personally find it really disturbing for a horror movie. Now we will go over to the design aspect. If you started off with developing the personality and backstory of your OC, then you should keep in mind that the design should reflect this personality and backstory in some way. If you start off with this step, you have almost no limits at the design of your character. But try to at least have a little concept in your head on what your character should be, so you don't end off with a character that looks have nothing to do with their story or character at all. Try to make the looks also fit their nationality. So if you have an Asian OC, you should give them black hair, unless it's dyed, and make the looks fit the country they're in. Even if you don't have a lot of limits in this particular fandom, you should still limit yourself. Try to pick a topic and a species and put a limit on what you want to do. So you won't end up with things like a robot with flesh and blood and cat ears from Africa or Japan or whatever. Try to stay in your borders that you made yourself and you should be fine. So in conclusion, you can do anything you want if it's based on something realistic, original, creative, and fitting. Now that you have created the first two aspects of your character, you should check if your character fits in the Creepypasta universe. I've heard many people say that your character has to be creepy, but that is not 100% true. I highly recommend your character to be creepy, but they don't have to be creepy. As long as they fit in the Creepypasta universe, they should be fine. The last part of your character creation should be naming your character and deciding what age they are. Try to pick an age that fits the looks, personality, and backstory the most. You should base the name of your character around their nationality, species, backstory, looks, and originality. For the people that want to make humanoid, serial killer type of characters, give your character a human name as well as a killer name or a title. Examples would be Alexandra Roberts and the Siren, Lucy Longford and the Collector, or James Davis and the Wheel. Now that you have finished your OC, you could make a Mary Sue test with them. OC tests are a good way to receive critique without asking another person for that. You can also ask reviewers on YouTube to critique your OC, so they can show you the mistakes that you weren't able to see yourself. Now that you have your finished OC, you can now decide on how to use it. You can basically do with it whatever you want. This includes making a virtual reality game based around your character, like Bend Round or Everyman Hybrid, or make a YouTube video series, like Tribe 12 and Marble Hornets, or make a story and post it on a website on the internet, like Jeff the Killer or Tiki Toby. And this is the end of how to OC a creepypasta. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and if you have some tips that I didn't mention in this video already, you can put them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe if you like my content and you want to be notified once I upload something new. Goodbye and see you next time!